Hi there, everyone. Welcome to Cisco Cybersecurity Insights broadcast. And we have a very great topic to be covering in the next 20 minutes. As you all know, the multi-cloud world is rich in benefits, but it's also actually complex. So in the next 20 minutes, we are going to be covering how we can secure public cloud using NGFWv and ASAv. And I have with me in this session, Anubhav Swami. Hello.
Hi. Thanks,
Hi.
Ian.
Welcome to our show, and tell us more about what you do for Cisco.
Thanks, Ian. So I'm part of a security business group, and I work on virtual appliances in public cloud. I cover ASAv and next generation firewall in Amazon and AWS. So I work very closely with engineering team and product management team to bring out new features. And I talk to a lot of customers on these virtual appliances and what are the key challenges they are overcoming by using these virtual appliances there.
Perfect. And let's jump onto this like very hot topic and roll up our sleeves. So why do you think security is important in public cloud? And the second follow-up question for that is, do you see a lot of customers moving into the cloud?
Thanks. That's a good question, Ian. So securing public cloud is really important. So I'm going to start off with a basic question: why do we need security in public cloud? There was a time when people or the application consumers were there in private data center. All the applications were hosted in the data center. All the consumers were consuming services out of the private data center. But in the recent past, we have seen a trend where customers are moving into public cloud. They are using these services either for SaaS or infrastructure as a service, and they're moving their applications and workloads into public cloud. So this is where the complication will begin. So you might have some security requirements that you need to fulfill in public cloud. That is really important, and the public cloud is a shared environment, so we need security there as well. So we have a model where we can connect our private cloud with public cloud using VPN tunnels, and then bring our consumers to private cloud and then force them to public cloud. That is there. What if we provide similar kind of security model in public cloud and we have your consumers consume services directly from public cloud? So that is something which is really important. And these are the key drivers for moving into public cloud. I see recently customers are using these services in cloud very often. They have their workloads there in public cloud. The basic drivers that we see is scalability, agility, cloud-first approach, and there are certain other factors as well, which may be movement from CapEx model to OpEx model. And because this model is a pay-as-you-go model, which is pretty simple to understand, and whenever you need services, you provision it, or when these services are not required, you can deactivate those servers. And since you move your servers into public cloud, there are certain things like it's a shared environment. You need to secure your workloads, and then we have security compliances as well that you need to meet.
Great. Now that you mentioned about security compliance, perhaps you can walk us through the security model.
Yeah, that's a good question again. So in public cloud, it is not like your own security platform. It's a shared security model where we have service cloud provider or cloud service provider, and then we have customer who is actually hosting their web services in cloud. So here, public cloud provider is responsible for managing security of their physical infrastructure, network infrastructure, and virtualization layer. They will definitely give you tools like network security groups, network ACLs, or security groups that will provide you security. However, if you need deep packet inspection or some kind of a threat-centric protection there in public cloud, we can use next generation firewall, which is available in marketplace. We can also use ASAv. I would like to give you more information about features, which I will be doing in the next slide. So I will quickly move to the next slide here. And these are certain features which we have on our virtual appliances. First of all, this next generation firewall is a unified image, which can provide you functionality of firewall, next generation IPS, and you can deploy this device in routed mode as well as in passive mode. So if you already have your setup running in public cloud, you can deploy it in passive mode, and instead of adding new hop in your network, you can just send copy of the traffic to this device for inspection. Apart from firewalling and IPS, we can also integrate with our AMP cloud. It can be a private AMP cloud or AMP in public cloud as well. So that will protect you from day zero attacks as well. So on the management side, we have a centralized management for this device. You can use your on-prem device, or you can use FMC in AWS as well. Let me talk a little bit about our ASA firewall. This firewall is there for a while now. It's almost more than 10 years. And I do see a lot of customers using ASA in public cloud. Reason is major use case in public cloud is VPN. Okay, so they move their workloads in public cloud and they provision these virtual devices there, and so the major use case is roaming users. So roaming users will consume any Connect services or VPN services to access their workload, which is there in the cloud. So that is something which is really important to understand. So VPN is a big use case, and we understand that we have route-based VPN request coming up from field as well. So we have this new feature which we have recently added in our new version, which is route-based VPN. So using route-based VPN, you can create a site-to-site VPN tunnel to your data center, and instead of using just policies, you can use route-based VPN functionality there. And in public cloud, we have certain limitations. It's not like your private data center. You don't have full functionality there. So you don't have layer 2 visibility. It is very difficult for us to provide any native HA functionality in public cloud. So we came out with a different model of HA, high availability for ASA, that's recently came out in August of 2017. So I'm going to talk about a little bit at a very high level on ASA design as well. On management side, for this device, we have ASDM, CSM, APIs. If you are into orchestration, you can enable RESTful APIs and you can use it. And we also have Cisco Defense Orchestrator to manage this device.
Yeah, I saw your buzzword there on Cisco Defense Orchestrator. So can you tell us more about these devices and cloud?
Yeah, so I talked about virtual appliances, next generation firewall and ASA. Now let me go at a very high level, tell you instances which are available. So in Amazon, we support C3 instance and C4 instance today. And we also have very flexible licensing model for Amazon users. You can use BYOL, purchase licenses, put those licenses into your smart account and consume licenses directly. The other model is hourly and annual license. If you have a project or a customer that requires firewall for maybe 1 week, you can go with this particular hourly model and decommission license when it is not required. We have same device available in Azure as well. There we support standard D3 and D3v2 version and BYOL license. Management is again on firepower management. I'll tell you about firepower management in a bit, but let me quickly talk about why do we need firepower management? It is a centralized manager. So centralized manager is required for managing your device, for configuration, for checking eventing as well. So we are not only restricted to virtual FMC, we have physical FMCs as well. We understand customers are already using this virtual appliance in their data center, right? So they can consume services directly from their data center. They can manage these firewalls directly from there.
Great.
Or if they don't have firepower management center in data center, they can also provision firepower management center in cloud in Amazon. So both form factors are available. We have virtual as well as physical.
Yeah, I heard about you speaking quickly on the licensing. Maybe we could go through that, because customers would probably wonder how do we go about the licensing?
Yeah, so that's a good question. But I have another slide that I would be talking about just to give you idea of ASA.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about licensing. But that's a good question.
Yeah.
Pretty valid point, because you are moving in from data center to public cloud. That's a good question, so I'll cover that as well. But before that, I will talk a little bit about ASA.
Okay.
So ASA here is also available in Marketplace. We have C3 instances, C4 instances. Only difference is the way we have storage on the device. In C3 instance, we have SSDs, and C4 instances, we have elastic block storage, which is more reliable because they have higher IOPS values and all. Licensing is same, so I won't go in much detail of that. ASA is again D3 and D4. Licensing is BYOL. And if you talk about ASAv support, we not only support virtual ASA in public cloud, we support it on private cloud as well. If you have VMware hypervisor, we support it there. If you have Hyper-V, we support it there. And if you are running KVM, because most of the time I see customers using KVM, which is getting popular day by day. So we have ASAv flavors available for all the hypervisors and Amazon and Azure today. Deployment model is really important to understand, right? So I have added a slide here which will give you idea about deployment models. So on hypervisors, we have 5 different deployment models: routed, which is layer 3, transparent is layer 2, and then we have inline tap, inline, and passive mode. In public cloud, since we don't have layer 2 visibility completely there, we support routed and passive in Amazon, and only routed mode in Azure. Just to give you very high level information about deployment models here, we have routed mode here in Amazon, where you can put your device at the edge and you can use it for layer 3 functionality, provide security. You can integrate it with AMP, URL filtering, next generation IPS. And another model is passive model. So I talked about a little bit about passive model before as well, but it requires another device, which is Cisco Cloud Services Router, which can send copy of the traffic to this device for inspection for next generation firewall. And again, in Azure, we have routed mode there. ASAs are also available in these 2 cloud providers. We have routed mode ASA. Number of interfaces you can see here. We have 4 interfaces. We can use it for inside, outside, DMZ, DMZ2. And you can use this device not only for protecting your workload from any threat coming from internet, but it's a very big use case. VPN is a very big use case. Site-to-site VPN is there. AnyConnect VPN is there. So we support this model both in Amazon and AWS. So next important thing is licensing, which is a valid question. So on the next generation firewall side, we have base license. Base license will give you functionality of firewalling and application visibility and control. Apart from that, we have term-based licenses as well. When you say term-based licenses, we have license for threat, which will give you next generation IPS functionality. We have URL filtering license. We have AMP, advanced malware protection licenses. On ASA side, we have standard license and AnyConnect license. So AnyConnect license will give you functionality of using this virtual appliance for AnyConnect VPN, which is really great. You can have your remote access VPN users connect directly to your cloud. So that is really great.
Yeah, especially when you mentioned about the roaming users, right?
Yeah, right.
Let alone managing all of the BYOD concerns that organizations are facing nowadays. So that's a good feature to have. Let's see. Anything else that you want to share around licensing here? Yeah.
So on licensing, I guess this is the model. We don't have. So I already covered the other aspects of it.
Cool.
But important key point is to have that we have BYOL and hourly license available, which is really great.
Yeah.
Now I will talk a little bit about HA model. This is at a very high level HA model that we have. We have recently came out with this particular model in August of 2017. And since I told you that we don't have layer 2 visibility, this is the way to go ahead. We have ASA agent built on top of the ASA image. This ASA agent is responsible for modifying routes in the route table. So instead of moving our IP address to another device or sending a GR, because that option is not there in layer 2. So we just use this HA agent to send REST API calls and modify a route table. Okay. So this is our route table. All the addresses are there. So it is active standby failover. So we can if in case first device is out, the other device will take over. Okay, so that's the simple model that that is there. I'll not go in details of it. I did a 90-minute session in CiscoLive. Probably we can refer that in the presentation as well. So you can go through that presentation and get more information out of it. The stateless scale-out model. We understand that you have a lot of workloads moving into public cloud, and it's really important that one device is not enough. So we understood that requirement, and we worked closely with Azure and Amazon, and we came out with this model where we can place our firewalls behind load balancer. Okay, so in this model, we have multiple firewalls sitting behind load balancer, and load balancer will receive traffic from internet. Now that's the key factor. We are not receiving traffic directly. So decision of sending traffic to firewall is in the hand of load balancer. So they have different kind of hashing algorithms that they run in order to forward traffic to us. So the moment we receive traffic, we just send it to one of the firewalls, and we receive traffic, we do a source NAT, because there are multiple firewalls involved in the setup. So we want the traffic should come back. Since it is a security device, it is really important that we maintain symmetry of the traffic. That is something which is really important. If I send return traffic to a different firewall, that's not going to work. So that is why we have the source NAT there, but it's a very flexible model, or many customers are using it, and using this particular model, you can scale your network out. Similar model is available for Amazon as well. So in Amazon, we have different kind of load balancers. When I say load balancer, we have network load balancer, elastic load balancer, we have application load balancer as well. So in this example, we tried showcasing how we can use network load balancer with next generation firewall, and how can we scale out. In this example, just a high-level example where I have just showcased one firewall in one availability zone, but you can add multiple firewalls, which will give you more flexibility. In case first firewall is down, the other firewall will take over. So not only we are providing high availability here, but we are providing scale out as well. So today, if your requirement is 1 gig, you are fine with one firewall. In future, if your requirement increases because of number of workloads, you are moving from your private data center to public cloud, you might need more firewalls. So you can add firewalls behind load balancer, and that will give you more throughput and more number of connections.
Yeah, that's a great feature when it comes to flexibility and scalability of things for our customers.
On the ASA side, same model is there. We can do it. We can provision. We can provision firewalls behind load balancer, and we can scale out. So that this model is not new. We have tested this model, and we have created a lot of videos around it. Since security or virtual appliances concept is pretty new, in order to give you more information about these features, we created a YouTube channel. So this YouTube channel is really important if you are really new to public cloud.
Great.
The reason is we want our customers and partners to understand how these devices are deployed in public cloud, because deploying these devices in public cloud is entirely different from the way we deploy these devices in private cloud today. So this YouTube channel will give you information like why do we need firewall, where do we need firewall, how we can provision these firewalls. So this YouTube channel can be a starting point as well. So just a very high-level snapshot of all the videos that we have added there. So we added videos like how can I use my firewall, how can I scale out my network. So that is the basic question. So we have created a lot of videos around scale-out model, HA model, how to deploy it, end-to-end deployment. So if you are really new to public cloud, I would highly recommend this YouTube channel. Go there and subscribe to it so that whenever there is a new video, you guys can you can use those videos.
Great stuff. So these are more of like your frequently asked questions, but then you created videos and demos.
So mostly not the frequently asked questions, but when I work with customers, these are their requirements.
The concerns.
Okay. So how we address those concerns are posted there.
Okay, cool.
So
great. Anything else that you'd like to share to our customers and the viewers who are watching and above?
So the important item that I would like to say here is security in public cloud is equally important, and how we handle security is really important as well.
Yeah.
So we can carry our same security policy from private cloud into public cloud. So if you have a virtual appliance or a physical appliance there in private cloud, you can carry forward same policy there. So that is really important. The way we move our workload, security policy should also move there. That is something which is really important and big.
Great inputs, great inputs. So thank you for joining us and for
Thank you.
sharing,
Thank you.
your expertise to our viewers. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in the next session.